Good evening, Dilip.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll start. Okay, so the topic which we are going to discuss today is SQL. Okay, we are going to discuss about SQL database. So SQL database is a PaaS offering. Okay, so it is a platform as a service offering. So what exactly is the difference between an IaaS offering and PaaS offering is that in PaaS offering, okay, the server is not your responsibility. The OS basically, okay, the OS is your responsibility in um, IaaS offering, but in PaaS, the OS is the CSP's responsibility. CSP stands for Cloud Service Provider, so it is Azure's responsibility. Okay, so when we talk about SQL database, it is a PaaS offering. Okay, so this is a PaaS offering, and we will discuss about how it actually works. Okay, so basically what happens here is you do not get to see the underlying server. Okay, you do not get to see where the server is placed and stuff. Okay, you get to create it and you get to work on the database. That means you can enter the details and data and everything, but you will not be able to see which VM it is running or what is the operating system. You cannot RDP into the VM. You can just connect to the database. Okay, so I'll quickly show you how to create a new database. Okay, first thing what you need to do is you need to give the resource group, the database name and the server name. Okay, server name, you will have to create a SQL server. Okay, you'll have to create a SQL server before you create the database. So go to SQL servers, click on create new server. Okay, you need to give the resource group name, okay, and the server name. So db1, okay, db141, okay, db141.database.windows.net, the location where you want this server to be deployed, and what is the authentication method. Do you want SQL authentication or do you want Azure AD authentication? Okay, so I'll just give the username and password for this particular thing. Okay, once I'm done with that, go to networking. Okay, if you want to have firewalls, you can give firewalls, otherwise you can just leave it as it is. Review and create the SQL server. Okay, so first we are creating the SQL server. Inside the SQL server, we will be deploying a SQL database. Okay, so this is the process of first creation of SQL server. Okay, so I already have a SQL server. I'll show you here. So this is the app server 3297. Okay. Here there is a SQL username and there is going to be a SQL password. Okay. So this is my SQL server. Using this SQL server, I can create a database. That is basically my SQL database. So all these will be locked. The DB name, DB1, and the whether you want to put it part of elastic pool or not. So what exactly is the elastic pool? It is a combination of multiple databases. Okay, and you will get a quota. Let's say if my database, so there are two concepts. One is standalone database and then there is elastic pool. So for my standalone database, if the capacity is 100 GB, okay, the data I can store or the operations I can do is only worth for 100 GB. But in my elastic pool, okay, there'll be a collective combination. Okay, there is going to be a collective capacity. Okay, let's say it is 1 TB. Okay, and I can add up to 10 databases, 10 standalone databases. Okay, and whoever requires data or whoever requires transactions at that time can utilize this capacity. Okay, so based on so it is basically like you're adding all your databases into the elastic pool and the elastic pool will take care of it. Okay, so instead of creating a single standalone database, you can create an elastic pool. Okay, so the EDTUs, so basically the concept here is EDTUs. So that is basically database transaction units. Okay, so whatever transactions you are doing, okay, every transaction will be tracked and this is there will be a limit for transaction units. So based on the EDTUs, you can use this particular setting. Okay, so that is one concept. Okay, here see, in order this is I'm creating, yeah.
That elastic tool is there, no?
Yeah.
That is like if you want, it can be enlarged. If don't want, the DB is, size is less, we can shrink that volume. Am I right? Actually,
No,
is
you
it
will
right?
get, it is like a pool. Okay. They
Okay,
have given you 1 TB.
okay,
How many databases you want to add, you can add.
okay, okay.
If,
Uh,
like, say for example, you have database A and database B. Database E has a peak consumption at the morning hours.
okay,
So that elastic pool will give the consumption to them at the morning hours.
okay,
Similarly, where database B has in the evening hours, the elastic pool will provide the required capacity in the evening hours.
okay.
So
And one
depending
more.
on when the requirement is, you can just consider. Yeah.
Okay. And one more doubt.
Yeah.
We are creating SQL server, and in that SQL server only we are going to create SQL database.
Correct. Correct.
Now you are going to tell that concept only.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
my question is, if you are creating when we are creating virtual machine, if you are creating Windows 2019 server, 2020 server and all,
Mm-hmm.
why can't we install the service SQL service and in that Windows server itself?
Yeah, that is a very good question. Okay, so basically that is infrastructure as a service. That is IaaS.
Okay.
This is PaaS.
Okay.
So what happens here is in IaaS, when we say you download a SQL Studio, you log in into it, you buy a license, you log in into the VM. Okay,
Okay.
whatever happens there on the VM is your responsibility.
Okay.
Be it the operating system security updates, or
Okay.
be it the accessibility to the VM, or whatever it is, you are being responsible for that.
Okay. But we can use now. We can use that concept also.
Okay. And when you talk about PaaS, okay, when you talk about PaaS, everything is going to be taken care by your cloud service provider. Be it
Okay.
the operating system patching, be it whatever, like backups, taking snapshots, everything is going to be taken care by your cloud service provider. Okay, so that is
Okay.
the difference. So
Okay.
it is fully managed. In PaaS, it is fully managed. In IaaS, where your example, it is managed by you. That is coming under your belt. So that is infrastructure as a service.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So this is your DTUs. Okay, DTU is basically database transaction units. Okay, depending on what your requirement is, depending on how much you need it. Okay, you will configure the DTUs and the maximum size of your database. So for each DTU units, let's say if I'm giving 50, I can give 50, 20. Okay, I can get 250 GB of data. Okay, depending on the DTUs, I can get the data. Okay, and you can also refer to this link. Okay, you will understand what is the best or what could be the database transaction unit for your requirement. Okay, so based on that, see, it is a measure of CPU memory read and writes. Depending on what is required for you, they will configure it and they will give it to you. Okay, so that is with respect to DTU, database transaction unit. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take a very small one. Okay, let me go over 1 GB. Okay, 10 DTUs and 1 GB. And similarly, we have redundancy here also, LRS, GRS, and ZRS. Okay, all these replication options are available here as well. When we talk about networking, you need to give private endpoints, or you can have public endpoints depending on your requirement. You can give that. Okay, moving on to security, you have something called Microsoft Defender. Okay, if you are using that, it will be at extra cost, but it will be giving you all these vulnerability assessment, and you will have threat protection. It is like an antivirus for your SQL. Okay, and yeah, apart from that, if you want to have a new database, okay, you can add that as well. You can just have a sample database here and you can do that. Okay, and apart from that, you have a maintenance window. Okay, a maintenance window is what time do you want your SQL database to have the maintenance window. Okay, it is there system time 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. Okay, so that is that maintenance window depending on where your region is. If it's East US, it will be US hours. If it's in India, it is IST. Okay, so depending on that, you will have your maintenance window. Okay, review and create. So this will create your SQL database. Okay, I already have a SQL database, so I will just show you here. So this is my DB. Okay, this is my database, and this is my server name. Okay, app server 3297.database.windows.net. If I use a application, let's say if I use SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio, and try to connect to this particular thing, I will be able to connect to it. Okay, so that is the concept of SQL. Okay, and if you see here the compute and storage, you can see if it is added to elastic pool or not. Okay, all these things you can see, and the database utilization metrics. Okay, what is the DTU percentage, how much it is used, and all of those you can see here. Okay, and apart from that, you can use other apps to generate reports. Okay, you can use Power BI, you can use Power Apps, you can use Power Automate in order to generate reports for so Power BI is used to generate report. Power Automate is used to any repetitive task is there, right? You can just write a query and that will run every day or whatever, whenever you want. Okay, and if you want to link it into an application, you can do that as well using Power Apps. Okay, so all these three are available, and apart from that, you can copy your database. Okay, you can copy it and create a new database using this option. And if you have like a backup, okay, if you have like a backup, you can use that option to restore. As I said earlier, your backups here on SQL, okay, they are automatic in nature. That means you do not have to take your backups. Everything is automatic in nature. Okay, so if I just click on the restore option here, okay, I can see what are the latest backups available. Okay, so here see the current time is the latest restore point is 1:14 UTC. That is like 2 minutes back. Okay, so I think every 5 minutes the backup is taken. Okay, and that is with respect to your copying and restore option. Okay, you can also export this particular database into a storage account. You can use this option and you can export this database into a storage account. It will be created in a VHP format. Okay, and firewall rules, if you want to block any IP, you can use that. And if you want to use any third party application like Azure Data Studio or Visual Studio, you can connect with that as well. Okay, so that is with respect to working on your SQL database. But what is the concept? Okay, so as Felix mentioned earlier, the concept is going to be same. There will be a VM. Okay, on that VM, SQL is going to be installed. But the thing here is we will not see where the VM, where the SQL is installed. Okay, we do not get access to the VM. We only get access to that database. Okay, so this VM is part of North Europe. Okay, this database is part of North Europe, but you will not get the VM details where it is stored. It is a platform as a service. So you are getting a database platform to do your work. Okay, you can enter data, you can query data, you can select data, you can do whatever you want with your database, but where it is installed, what it is doing, you don't get to see that. Okay, so it is pretty much everything is automated here. Okay, the backups are automated and everything is automated. So basically like you can say that this is a fully managed service. Okay, so that is with respect to the SQL database. Okay, so any doubts, anything, Felix? I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, got it, Akash. Actually, one more doubt. If you are using this SQL database to our users, how to link this database?
You have the endpoint, right?
Yes.
You can use the endpoint and you can ask the users to connect to it
With the help of the server name.
Yeah, it is like a public IP.
Okay.
This is like a public IP. It is just having a DNS name. So
Okay.
it is, yeah, you can just everyone can connect to it.
That is unique only, no? That is unique.
Yeah, that is unique for sure. Yes. Just like storage account, right? Same concept.
Okay. Okay. No, I got it.
Okay. Yeah, this is with respect to SQL database. Okay. So just try creating this. Okay. Try to create a SQL server. Try to create a SQL database. Okay. You can start doing it now. Once you are done, let me know.